You may be a redneck if you cut your grass when it's raining outside. You ain't supposed to cut grass when it rains. Or at least I don't think you're supposed to cut grass when it rains. I never seen nobody cut grass when it rains, but I heard that. I said, man, who's cutting grass? It is what it is. Let's get on this race car real quick. Time to go ahead and start drying everything in and getting everything bolted up, finished up. Let's get this thing together. Well, Jeep's stuck. I took the transfer case out, or the dry shut out the other week. It's been two-wheel drive mode. Come here, there was a little puddle of water. I said, well, hell, I'll just run it into the other car. I was doing some grading over here, so I figured all the water would just run off together. I got it stuck, so I had to wait on Katie to come home to pull me out. My phone's about to die, so I added some weather stripping right here. Down there, I don't want to tear the paint up quite yet. So to keep it from the front end from scratching and stuff, I set this up on here like this. So me and Katie can come out here and put the front end on it. I can start building the turbo kit. So me and Katie went down to Denny Porter's. He gave us his old fiberglass hatch. I'm gonna change the window out in it. I'm actually gonna put a stock glass right here with the molding around it just so it looks a little bit better. I gotta come here, I'm gonna fiberglass these edges over these holes, make it where we can mount it. But the whole thing actually fits pretty good around there. And it's safe, and I gotta fix a little crack right there. I gotta fix one little spot right here. Got fiberglass it, fiberglass the edge, mount the big drag wing off that thing on there. What you think, Caden? You like it?
It'll be pretty alright, I guess.
It's gonna be pretty alright, ain't it?
Yeah. Replace the window.
For a race car, yeah, we're gonna put a different window. I can't handle that window. I don't deal with the plexiglass like that.
Plus it's already cracked.
Nah, it's just a scratch. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna put that thing, we're gonna use this hatch. I'll fiberglass up here in a few weeks, some holes, fix them, be good to go. Nikki ain't at home, so I figure it's a good time to build a turbo kit tonight. Let's get it under here where we can see. So, where Nigel's borrowed his mount. That way I can adjust the height and get it set where I want it. The main thing is I want the intercooler piping to be super easy. So we're gonna put that Enemies Racing intercooler on it, so it's gonna raise up 3 inches, so we'll be able to clock this barely up and hit it just fine. So that'll be gravy on that. I'm clearing my frame right here with that angle. So now all I need to do, I need to come over here, put my manifold on it, put my manifold on the other side, because I'm gonna redo this side over here because it always was real close to my alternator, and I don't want it to be close to my alternator this year. So I gotta rebuild this side mostly, and I'm gonna chop up what I already had and see if I can't make it fit or rebuild off of it or something. You know what I mean? I got some to work with to get it started. And like I said, I like the placement. It'd be a good spot for the intercooler piping to be simple. I want to build me a mount. I usually build a mount that goes down to the frame rails, but I think this year I want to run a mount. I'm gonna figure out if I can't make a mount off the motor, something I can adapt it to it up here. Come off the motor, maybe the lower down there or something, or a bracket there that I can bend around. Something simple, something easier. I might just come over here to the frame and just beam me a bar here and weld it on and just come up there to it. We'll figure all that out though. But my drain, I got good height there for my drain to drain back to there. It'll be easy to do. The turbo fit, the oil feed line will work right there. The exhaust will work real good there. So yeah, it's a good spot for it. It's actually the first spot I set it at. That's where it wound up. I was like, man, that's a pretty good spot right there. So we got clearance around the fuel pump there. Be able to clearance all that and get all that right. I really want to do a low mounted fuel cell. So I'd really like to put a fuel cell down here somewhere, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to that part of it. Let's go ahead and start chopping this other kit up. We'll start putting some manifolds on. Figure out where we're going with this. So I got me a different manifold. The other manifold, it kicks out further. So this thing actually used to kick down here a little bit different. The other one I have is a Trailblazer. I got 03 Trailblazer. So this thing had a big old block right here for EGR. I decided I'm gonna go through and I welded it up. Still got a lot of grinding to do, but I shaved those, each one of these had bosses on it for a dust shield, and I'm still grinding them down, making it lighter. It's actually probably dropped a pounder. I'd say at least a pound off of it by cutting all the little bosses off of it, the flange and all that. I mean, it definitely feels lighter than what it did. I'm gonna finish cleaning that up. I'm gonna get me some more sanding discs. That way I can finish sanding out, get that cleaned up, clean up around the bottom up so I can weld it. I can start building my turbo kit. It's about as good as I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna turn around and weld my flange on the end of it. Start getting it ready. Like I said, I like them to feel smooth. I really need to get in here and get the last little bit of casting off the edges of them around it, but I don't care that much. On the car's gonna be like that, and that'll rust back over in no time. So the main thing is I just like it to be smooth in my hand, nothing to catch me, and to be lighter than what it was. So I gotta go around the bottom and go ahead and get it cleaned up so I can weld it real quick. And then I gotta go through and start putting my flange on it. As you can tell, this is what we had before, and this is still similar. The biggest thing is I'm gonna go through, and this piece here, moving it forward so to get it off the alternator so we can get some distance here. The alternator, so the way this one swoops back straight that way and coming in, it's going to combine right here. I'm going to cut the flange a little bit more, weld it to it, then we'll build our pipe off of it, and that way we can turn around and have it where it ain't really so much as far as the inside flow, but the main thing is the alternator mounts really close, and I want to get some heat away from it. So I want to move, if I can move it forward, you gotta think if I can do it like that right there, move it forwards a ½ inch there, or an inch, that's about an inch. If I can move it forwards an inch, then it'll be a lot happier, it'll be a lot better off. So let's cut this flange off. I've had this flange for years on a bunch of different kits. Looks like we're gonna use it again. So I'm gonna cut the weld loose, we'll use it, and go from there. So I'm gonna show y'all how I do a turbo kit. That little thing ain't gonna look too bad. I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna get the little heat shield off of it like that. I kept that piece right there because I had done made it. Cause we always try to make turbo kits even length, and that way you have the scavenging effect. So when this cylinder opens, it pulls from that cylinder back and forth. It just helps speed the flow up, but everything is even, and they make power. So when I build a turbo kit, I just go with it. You know what I mean? Like, I got this one already down there where I want it. It loops around. It comes back this way, so they meet in the middle of the car. The other one will meet right here beside it, and that way the pipes will be the same length. I gotta come in here, and if you look, this thing ain't mounted exactly, but I just need to put a little, I'll put like a 90. I'll cut these two evenly, put a 90, hook it up to here, cut this off a little bit, add a little 90 with a little piece here to adapt it to this side, and I gotta do the other side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start on the other side here. I start looking in an eyeball, and I get my piece right here, and I start figuring out, well, I want it about that high, which is about an inch down the back. Well, if I touch that there to that, on the other side, I got about an inch gap from front to back. So basically, I need this piece to be down. So right here, so inch, it's touching the back, it's an inch difference. So if I want it to drop straight down, so I'm gonna put 2 inches here and 1 inch there. Somebody just had a car wreck. Let me go check on it. All right, we got that handled. White car on the red light, hit a little Jeep in the passenger door. So it is what it is. But anyways, getting back to this. So we need 1 inch on one side versus the other side. So we're gonna drop that down an inch on that side. So we need 2 inches on this side. So let's go cut us a piece of pipe. Then what we'll do, we'll tack it up here, we'll weld that piece on, we'll attach the other piece, and that'll get us down to where we need to be at. Then we'll have to add a piece, turn, and hook up to there. So nothing hard, nothing crazy. So as you can tell, I cut this side off, and I cut it at an angle, let the other side flat, because this side right here needs to be 2.5 inches to fit my V-band, but this right here needs to be wider to fit my manifold or whatnot. So what I do, I go through and cut at an angle like that on the top side. That way when I fit it up there, I can mold this around to where the flow is really smooth transition, because you don't want to transition a wall into there. You know what I mean? Like, this is smaller, you don't want to have a big old lip on it and all. You want the air to flow smoothly. And the smoother you can make it flow, the more power it'll make. So since this thing right here is kind of oblong and it's long and skinny, then we cut it off like this. That way I can shape it to where I need it to. But on the other side, I can always just take it and weld it. Like I'll spot it to this first. I'll spot it to that first up in there around it. And then that way I can shape the other side to get it to where I need it to be at. It ain't gonna be pretty, but see what I'm saying? How the inside it'll flow together. You wanna make sure that there ain't no obstruction in the exhaust. The worst thing for the internet has been weld porn. It's been weld porn. So people go out here and they post everything online, and there's some people out there that can really, really weld. You know what I mean? There's some people that really do real good work. But what has happened is it's made people believe that if it ain't pretty, it ain't fast, or if it ain't pretty, it's junk. And pretty is it's an opinion. Like I see some welds that are nice. But I've seen some nice welds that break too, when I've had some old gobbled together stuff that didn't break. You know what I mean? So to me, it's more about the strength, and more than that, it's about just being airtight. As long as you're going through, that air can go through that pipe smoothly, it's gonna make power. It don't care what the outside of the pipe looks like, it matters what the inside looks like. So that's why, like, I'll weld this up, it'll be okay, it'll be decent. It'll be all right, but it's gonna be cheap because I do it myself. It's gonna make power, I promise you it's gonna make horsepower. And it's gonna be solid, and you ain't gonna have to worry about it. So, like I said, I got this piece done now. Now I'm gonna go take it to the car, I'm gonna do some markings on it. I'll weld it. I'll go through and start making my piece, form it the way I need it on the top side here to make it work the way I need it. And then I'll go from that, I'll bolt the flange up to it, to the pipe. I get everything bolted together so that way when I turn around and weld it, it don't shrink on one side, because welding, when you weld, it draws one side or the other, it tightens the gap up. So I'll bolt my V-bands together, tight, all super tight, and that way when I weld it, that way I don't go to put my exhaust on it and I'm like, well, it's warped and now we're screwed and we got a exhaust leak and all that stuff. If it's airtight, it'll make horsepower. So let's get the other piece, get the V-band, get it bolted together, start welding them up, and go from there. So if you notice, I'm coming around here. This right here is a gap, which is fine because I can weld gaps. But what I did, I took a screwdriver in here and I flexed this out. See how it bevels out? That way you don't have a wall there. Now I'll go through and start stitching it in all the way around, get it welded up, and I'll have it. Walk it all around down through there. So now I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna get from that side. I'm gonna walk it back this way. It ain't too bad. Ain't nothing to show about, but it'll work for what I need. Took me a while to get my welder set up over here on this side. I didn't have enough heat in it, and I had it feeding too fast, so it's a little more bubbly over here. But like I said, that's my car, I don't care. Ain't that big a deal. Alright, got plenty of room around the alternator now. Don't have to worry about it, because before it would almost touch that stud right there. This right here would melt from getting so hot. So now we got that away from our alternator good. I can also put a little heat shield on it from here if I wanted to bolt a little shield up, keep the heat off of it. It comes down low. Now we just gotta come forward, 90 it, run straight, 2 90s up, and we'll have a hot side built. Like I said, and like I said, I'm gonna pull that manifold back off after I get everything welded together. I'm gonna pull it off, I'm gonna grind it and make it look like the other one. And I'll clean everything up, clean the rust off everything. Once we get some heat in it, that turbo will look a little better because it won't have a lot of crap on it. And brake clean it, and then we just gotta do one little intake pipe right here. I need to get Nigel to order the piece for this, and I need I got a different throttle body back here, one of his old ones that don't have as big of a spacer here. It has one of the locks on it, so I'll probably change that throttle body out, get the one with the alpha lock on it, put a piece there, and then we just throw a valve out here to the side. Something clean, something simple. Redo some vacuum lines and stuff. Be all right. I cleaned that up a little bit around. I need to clean up some more, but got looking and I need to trim that gap right there, and I'll be in parallel how I need it to be. So I need to take it, I think I need to take about a ½ inch off the bottom to flush those up together, clean that old weld off. Once I'll tighten it up, it'll be a little bit tighter right over here, but that'll be fine because I can come here, clean that up, slide that in just a little bit. It'll clear it from the front end here, and then we can take it and just plumb it straight in over there. Nigel was throwing this away one day. Like I said, the throttle blade looks like it's been ground on a little bit. I think this might be the one the bolts backed out of years ago. I don't know, but it'll work for what I need. I need to measure, make sure it's 92. If it ain't, then I can always cut this clamp off and we can weld it onto mine. Around through there, get it welded up. But that's what I'll use for my throttle body, is that right there, that little alpha lock, and then we'll just have the other piece. So I come over here, eyeball it up, hold my pipes right here where I want them at, about where I want it, make a middle note, and then I go over there and spot it, and I'll bring it back, put it on it, then we'll get it ready to burn it on in. That's about right there where we're gonna have it at. So boom. 2 small tacks. Let's take it over here, see what it does. If it does, we'll weld the gaps up. You ain't gotta be a great welder, you just gotta be a good grinder. You can always grind it back down. Now I'm gonna go back over it and re-weld it. I just want to get it all filled in, but like I said, it ain't, it's basic. So now I'll walk back around it, make sure I got all the holes, because I seen one hole underneath right there I need to weld up. That's why I always go through and grind them. Make sure you don't get no gravel in your turbo when you go to put it on. But let's weld this up real quick. All I got to weld it all the way around it. It's solid. Let's go bolt it up. Because the brake lines ran inside the car. They're bled. I'm gonna fill them because Caden said, "Oh yeah, that pedal feels good." Yeah, I run all the brake lines inside the car to get them off the firewall. And I put the brackets, because I ain't never had the brackets on the frame down here to hold them through. So I put the brackets. See, the master looks good. The line runs down, it attaches there, runs up inside. The other one comes right there, goes inside, runs across the top, comes out over there. I got this one bracket on this side. I gotta turn and get a bolt for it to bolt the bracket to it. We got the brakes done. So I'm gonna go tomorrow, get the pipe I need to finish turbo kit, the hot side right here, and then I can start building my turbo mount, put my drains and my feeds up. Gotta get push rods for it. Gotta go through and get the throttle body changed out. Nigel's gonna order a coupler tomorrow. Get all this stuff addressed, get it together so we can go racing.